this is tentative. I mean, this is Yah willing. But we are tentatively, after spending some time in Alaska, tentatively planning to do 2 trips to plant home fellowships like we did to the southern United States. So if you live anywhere between Kentucky, Ohio, and west over to Seattle and back, in any of those northern tier of states, and you want us to have a Patriot meetup to plant a home fellowship like we did in the southern United States, then email me. My email is right below the video, and let us know. Also in October, we're also planning to go north through Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York State, and then up through all the New England states. So if you live in any of those states and you want us to stop and hold or host a Patriot meetup and try to plan a home fellowship in any of those states, please email me and let us know. All right, let's get into the news. There's quite a bit to cover on this Monday morning. So first of all, a decertification could soon be coming to Georgia after today's lawsuit. This is hot off the press from today. A lawsuit will be filed on Monday at 1:30 p.m. in the Henry County Superior Court contesting the certifications of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock as the winners of the election for Georgia's U.S. Senate seat. So now we're talking about the down ballot races. There will be a press conference immediately following the court hearing in Henry County, Georgia. A court hearing will take place in Henry County Superior Court on Monday, July 19th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern regarding the U.S. Senate runoff election in Georgia certified in January of 2021. The lawsuit brought by Atlanta resident Mike Dougherty contests the certifications of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock as the winners of the election for Georgia's U.S. Senate seats and seeks a new election conducted on paper ballots under Georgia Code 21-334. So this is very, very interesting. And I think we all know that both those Senate seats were stolen, by the deep state. And so now a lawsuit's been filed. So we're going to have to pay special close attention to this and see how that develops. Now, Wendy Rogers, she's been, of course, an awesome firecracker out there, a great patriot. And she brings up a post from AZ Suburbs that says, huge, Maricopa County was given $3 million of Zuckerbucks before election, but no one knows who received it and what it was used for. All right, so Wendy Rogers says buying Sharpies and thin paper, missing thumb drives, maybe routers without passwords, missing machines, could be anything. Yeah, so the fact that Mark Zuckerberg gave $3 million to Maricopa County, very, very suspicious, especially with all that's coming to light with the corruption going on in Maricopa County that the audit is uncovering. So here again is a good recap of all the corruption now that has been talked about at the hearing that happened last Thursday. I'm just going to go ahead and put this up here. So subpoena in February for ballots and equipment to MCBOS, 37,646 security queries in March, deleting logs, 3,981 registered and voted after 10/15 deadline, and then 11,326 voted not on voter roll as of November 7th, and then they show up on December the 4th. 18,000 voted and removed from rolls post-election. 72,000, this was the big news from the hearing on Thursday, 74,243 mail-in ballots with no evidence of sending those ballots. The envelope went from standard signature 20-point compared to none. Shared passwords among election officials. Antivirus definition not updated since August of 2019. Internet connection with a question mark. Election management breach in November. Letters sent out. Envelope images not provided. Maricopa County refused to assist. Ballot batches. Slips did not match the number of ballots and boxes. Ballot paper printed, not correct thickness. Sharpies and regular pens bled through. Ballot calibration off by 1,900%. Should be 100%. Thousands of ballots missing serial numbers. So clearly there's enough fraud here to decertify the Biden electors in Arizona. Now, Rudy Giuliani says that Karen Fann is the president of the Arizona Senate, has all the authority to decertify the election. Take a listen to what Rudy has to say here.
Karen can get around this problem very easily legally. The legal answer to this is, let's look at it from a different point of view. There's no doubt now that the vote that was certified under penalties of perjury by the legislature and the governor is a fraud. The number that exists right now on the rolls of the Congress is a phony number. It's false. You have to correct that. You can't let that stand for for all eternity. In other words, Arizona is going to leave a fraudulent vote count. There's no doubt with all these revelations, it's either a different vote or that vote count can't be authorized. So they either have to remove their certification in order to be honest, or they can certify someone else. But either way, they can't leave that vote the way it is. Otherwise, they've got an ongoing crime.
All right. So, yeah. So no matter what they decide, whether they decide to hold a new vote or just give the electors to Trump, they have to, in either situation, they have to decertify the electors based off all the fraud that's come out from this hearing from the audit. Of course, we're still waiting for the actual preliminary report, but we have enough information. President Trump talked about this in my Friday video. He released a statement saying, look, why wait? We have enough information. We already have Wendy Rogers, a senator in Arizona, saying, hey, we need to recall the Biden electors. And now Rudy Giuliani is saying that Karen Fann has all authority to do that. Now, Pragmatic wrote this article, which I think is really good. He wrote this yesterday, How Audits Will End the Biden Administration. I want to take a look at this article. Last week's election revelations in Georgia and Arizona caused a shift in the way election audits are perceived. As a result, a representative from Wisconsin, we're going to talk about this a little later, is now calling for a full forensic audit in that state. Many people are wondering how this will end. Will state legislatures recall their Biden electors? Will Congress nullify the results of the November election? Will the Supreme Court order a new election? Post-election audits this magnitude have never been done before. There is no clear constitutional remedy or historical precedent for changing the outcome of a fraudulent presidential election. We're in uncharted territory. We don't know with certainty how state legislatures will act if and when their audits find fraud. We have no way of knowing how the courts will respond. There is no reason to believe Congress will take action. It's anyone's guess as to whether state attorney generals will investigate evidence of fraud. But I think we can make a reasonable guess as to where this is headed if we follow key data to its logical conclusion. Our first data point is the fact that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has refused to turn over to the Arizona state the routers used during the November election pursuant to a legislative subpoena. The Board of Supervisors turned over the ballots, they turned over the machines, but they won't turn over equipment that would reveal the internet traffic that occurred during the election. Why are they determined to hide this information? The answer could be inferred if we consider the evidence presented in the video absolute proof, and he puts a link there to that. This video and others in the Absolute series present evidence that the November election was hacked by foreign nations, with China being the major player. This August, Mike Lindell will host a symposium where IT and cybersecurity experts will examine the PCAP data recorded in real time before, during, and after the election. Experts who have analyzed some of the data are convinced that it shows irrefutable evidence that China interfered in the November election. If the evidence proves what experts claim, then Joe Biden is not merely an illegitimate president. He is the representative of a foreign government inserted into our political system, the person through whom China assumed control of our executive branch. Internet routers do not contain the kind of data the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors claimed when they refused to turn them over to auditors. Routers retain IP addresses. Perhaps they know that data on the routers will show internet traffic between China and Maricopa County voting centers. The purpose of the audits is to investigate elections at the state level and provide evidence to the public of what happened. If the audits prove the election was stolen by China, we should expect and demand action from the Defense Department. If a foreign nation took over control of one branch of our federal government, and there is proof of it, it is the responsibility of the military to acknowledge this fact and remove the usurper from power. Irrespective of what a state, a court, or Congress may do, the Defense Department cannot allow this to stand. So we're getting back to the phrase from Q that he used several times over the last few years, which is the military is the only way. So when it's all said and done, the Defense Department is going to have to stand up and act. So very well written article there, and I think he's absolutely right. I think that's exactly where the audits are headed and how they will end the Biden administration, regardless of what state, Congress, or the Supreme Courts decide to do. I do have enough faith, certainly in Arizona, but also in other states, that the legislatures are going to have the backbone to actually say, you know what, we got to decertify these Biden electors because obviously there was too much fraud in the actual election. So here we have President Trump on the 16th, who released another statement that I want to read. He said, Fox News and other media outlets incorrectly side with the outdated and terrible Maricopa County Election Board to report no fraud found in the presidential election. They spew the gross misinformation and purposely put out by the county and the Associated Press and ignore the very important Arizona Senate's hearing yesterday, which was, of course, last Thursday, which showed 168,000 fraudulent ballots printed on illegal paper, unofficial ballots, 74,000 mail-in ballots received that were never mailed, magically appearing ballots, and 11,000 voters were added to the voter rolls after the election and still voted. All the access logs to the machines were wiped, and the election server was hacked during the election. They sided with the county and not the brave Arizona Senate, who is fighting for the people of Arizona. The same anchor at the desk the night Fox called Arizona for Joe Biden now wants you to believe there was no fraud. The anchor was Brett Baer. Thankfully, Arizona has strong state senators willing to fight for the truth. Senator Wendy Rogers says, quote, "I have heard enough. It's time to decertify this election." Senator Kelly Townsend said the fraud was so bad, I want to see indictments. Senator Sonny Borelli says, "I've seen enough evidence to challenge the validity of the certification of the Maricopa County election results. Arizona shows fraud and voting irregularities many times more than would be needed to change the outcome of the election." So President Donald Trump's not letting this go, nor should he. And